All right, here's the good news. I mean, this is part of the good news. I'm going to take you back to the election board here in a little while, and I'm going to show you some really good news. But when we're talking about who we are and the storm and everything else, the good news is that when push comes to shove, we're generally really good people. We do not leave others behind. Stories emerging from Hurricane Sandy are proof of that. In Hoboken, a group of restaurants are handing out free food to residents without power. In Indiana, a group of people, residents, just regular people, scrambled, made the trek to Pennsylvania, where they helped the Red Cross stage several rescue efforts. There was also a Good Samaritan cabbie who ferried refugees all over the place, including several who were stuck in the building that was dangling that crane. I mean, it's been remarkable. An anonymous dump truck driver helped rescue trapped residents from floodwaters. Many are just trying to convince us that we are incapable of taking care of ourselves, but it's a lie. It's not true. The left this week is acting if it's treasonous to reduce dependence on FEMA and place more responsibility on the states, the communities, or, God forbid, individual citizens like us. FEMA was put in place in the 1970s by Jimmy Carter. What did people do when a hurricane hit back in 1950, 1965, 1920? What did they do? Just curl up in a corner and cry? Oh, I want my mommy. People helped each other. They're trying to teach us now that we cannot do it for ourselves, but we can. They're trying to convince us you didn't build that. Yeah, we did, and we'll rebuild it if it's broken. The president's campaign runs on the slogan, forward. He pushed his campaign slogan into his Sandy response yesterday. Listen to this.
And the private utilities are going to have to lean forward. There's no excuse for inaction at this point. I want every agency to lean forward and to make sure that we are getting the resources where they need.
I don't even know what lean forward means. I mean, I know it's a crappy MSNBC slogan as well, but what does that even mean? Perhaps the president's just warming up for his MSNBC gig that might begin, I don't know, early January when he leaves office. I don't know. But let's use common sense here. If you lean forward, aren't you bending over or bowing? Or you're going to fall on your face. Lean forward? The government controlling what you eat, who you help, who you feed, how you help, what you drive? That's not how Americans are wired. Lean forward? Wait for FEMA trucks to arrive, and then they'll give you the paperwork so you can do what? There must be a government program out there for somebody like you. Let's call the UN. Maybe they'll know what to do. There's a fire. Oh, I hope we make it out. Let's lean forward. Americans don't understand that, but here's what they do understand. You don't wait for somebody else. We've got this. We can do this. Let's roll. Pick up a hammer, a hose, a case of water, food. Run into the burning building or rush down to defend an ambassador even when there is no way out. That's what we do. That's what we do best. That's what Americans do. We're not programmed to wait. You're trying to reprogram and fundamentally transform not just the country, but who we are. When all we need to rescue from our nation are the effects of the storm and 10 years of economic devastation. The only thing we need to do is just remind ourselves of who we are and how we got here. We are men determined to be free. We should act that way. This didn't come from us. This is not a uniquely American trait. This started a long time ago. I'm going to show you something. This is a book from 1559. It actually was a very old book and went into the British Museum by 1770. Before we were a country, this was in a museum. This is an exceptional book. This book is so remarkable because of what the man did for the book. One man gave his life for it. In fact, many men gave his life for this book. This guy thought this should be able to be printed in English. He didn't ask anybody else to do it. He didn't lean forward. He did it himself. In the end, he was strangled and burned at the stake because of this. He had the courage to stand up and to try to forge a new path. And as he was on the stake, as they were lighting him on fire and getting ready to strangle him, he said, "My only crime is I believe you should be able to read God's word in English in your own homes. The king is wrong. and then he died. Because of countless individuals like him, countless individuals here started to behave differently and declare a new independence and a new idea and a new country where not the king told you what to do, but man did. You relied on divine providence. Those ideas became America, the greatest country in the history of this planet. People like this are in our DNA. This is who we are. Behave like a man determined to be free. You know who that is? That's somebody who rushes into the cockpit, not hide in the back seat. That's a man or a woman who says what they mean and mean what they say when they say, we never, never leave any man behind.